Hey, David, this is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for the email. I got it earlier today, I believe, or maybe yesterday. You asked me to take a look at 3 different stocks for you. We're going to run through them all here. Fiverr, FVRR, FedEx, FDX, and then a China Internet ETF, KWEB, KWEB. So we'll go through them in that order, starting with Fiverr. I'm starting with a linear graph here just to kind of make something fairly clear, and that is that the 2020 up leg very clearly is trendy, but it very, very clearly is over based on the size of this large pullback that's happened in 2021. So just a general framework when I start analyzing something, I look for obvious clues like this. Trendy move, obviously that trendy move completed, obviously that trendy move is being corrected, and so far that's all played out pretty well because this correction to the downside has retraced a Fibonacci portion of this up leg. So basically this yellow area here ranges from a 38.2% to a 61.8% retracement of this up leg. So in general terms, we can start with that. Trendy up move, counter trend pullback. We'll see what we can do to add some detail to that. So here's back to the linear scale that we normally use. So each box is more of a percentage move as opposed to the standard point move. So here is how I've labeled the trendy 5-wave up move to the upside. It started with a leading diagonal, had a second wave pullback, a very large third wave advance, a fourth wave pullback, and then an ending diagonal for wave 5. Like I said from the previous screen, it's got to be over, just judging by the size of the pullback that's followed. And speaking of that pullback, you can see some of the bullish stuff about this pullback is that initial down leg is a very clear ABC down move, and again, it's found support in that yellow Fibonacci area. So the question we're asking ourselves, is this pullback over, or is it going to continue before the overall uptrend resumes? Let's go ahead and dive in a little bit closer. This takes a more detailed look at the 2021 pullback, and it shows a little more detail in that initial down leg, very clearly an A, B, C move. Again, that's a bullish thing. If we're getting 3-wave moves to the downside, it's got to mean the trend is still up, right? Because trendy moves play out in 5 waves, counter trend moves play out in 3 waves. We're getting 3-wave moves to the downside, must mean the trend is still up. The problem is it doesn't look like it wants to head up directly from here. Everything we're seeing off of this low recorded in May suggests that a larger pullback is going to form before this correction completes. So after we got to that A wave low here, we've had this recovery leg here, very nice leg to the upside, but it fits as a B wave. It's not a trendy move, and the way we know that, not only because of the form itself, but also because it was almost completely retraced with a very sharp, trendy looking down leg in August here. Now, Fiverr tried to recover from there, but all it was able to produce was a 3-wave recovery and has again turned back down. So to me, this looks like an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down. Now, it's possible it's an ABCX ABC, so we wouldn't get a complete 5-wave move off of this high in July. But we would still expect additional weakness either way. So, I mean, general expectations would be that it would head back below May's low before this pullback is complete. Whatever the case may be, we're not seeing anything trendy to the upside yet to suggest this pullback is over. Therefore, we have to think it's not yet complete. So let's zoom in one more step. This just looks at this price action right here off of September's high and into October. And again, we're seeing downside movement that looks trendy. And then you see October's recovery started with a little 3-wave up leg here, but more importantly, the overall recovery looks like a 3-wave ABC move as well. So everything we're saying suggests, again, that this big counter trend pullback is not yet over. A wave down, B wave up, in some type of C wave down. The expectation has to be for lower levels on a long-term time frame. Looks bullish. I think you need to wait for a new low or some type of indication that the counter trend pullback is over. So far, we're not seeing it, so I would be careful until this counter trend pullback completes on Fiverr. So let's go ahead and move on now. We're going to take a look at FedEx, FDX. We have data dating back to 1980, nothing before that. I'm guessing that this guy has been around longer than that, judging by this chart. But what we do see is we're seeing trendy 5-wave up moves that are offset by counter trend ABC pullbacks. So from 1980, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an absolutely massive 5-wave move. A very large counter trend pullback in late 2000s, retraced a little bit more than 61.8%, and then started another 5-wave up leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once that completed, gave us an ABC pullback, retraced a little bit more than 61.8%. That completed. Then it resumed giving us trendy upside movement. And obviously, this is our interest here. What's going on here? Is it going to continue directly higher? What can we expect? Let's find out. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So here's the advance off the 2020 low. Great move, very strong. Went from 90 up to about 320 earlier in 2021. Had a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move. Trendy stuff. That's fantastic. Obviously, this move completed because we've gotten a very large correction of that move. Went from about 320 down to 220, so a pretty substantial haircut there. So the question becomes, is this pullback over? Is price ready to head higher from here? So let's continue to drill in and just look at this price action now. Now, it's been a very sharp move, but so far it's a three-wave move. You can see 1, 2, 3, or ABC, however you want to label it. The problem is, if you're bullish on this guy right now, the concern for me anyway is that this sharp down leg in looks like August and September looks more like a three-wave and less like a C-wave. That can be disproven, but right now it makes me nervous. There's no clear indication that it's over. Now, if it moves above 268, a level that's not nearly as close as we want it to be, but that's what it would take, a move above 268, we could be confident that this is just an ABC pullback and the uptrend has resumed. The other way we could go about it is just looking at this recovery in October and saying, is this trendy upside action here? Can we use the action to the upside to say, doesn't matter what we think otherwise, we now have trendy upside movement and that is worth trading. So let's go ahead and zoom in on that. Now, the recovery in October so far is only a three-wave move. You can see it here, 1, 2, 3. To be determined, I guess, is the answer. Unfortunately, we don't know for sure. It could very easily turn back down, move below 226, a level definitely to keep in mind, and this becomes a three-wave move, and then we would know that the pullback is not yet over. If instead we get a 1, 2, 3, and then we get some choppy movement and another up leg, now we have a trendy five-wave move we can work with, and that's something that would say, hey, this is bullish. Maybe that pullback is over. If we step back out, this pullback here, and the next five-wave advance has begun. I would recommend caution until we know that that pullback is over. And again, we don't know that yet. It's just a three-wave move. It's not particularly strong or particularly impressive given what the overall market's done. It's a nice move. It's just not super clearly trendy price action. And when we look at the larger pullback, there's just nothing that says for sure that this is over. We like to get the probabilities in our favor. We just don't have them yet. So if we get a move below 226 at any point, we know the pullback's not over. If instead we can get some trendy five-wave movement on that one larger time frame, that's something we can work with. Then we can start buying FedEx with the expectation of a new trendy five-wave move beginning. So there is that guy. Let's go ahead and move on to KWEB now. Crane Shares CSI China Internet ETF is the name of it. And I have looked at this before. I'm not sure if it was for you or for somebody else, but it was in my database, so I know I looked at it before. Last time I looked at it was in December of 2020. And at that time, we were saying, hey, it needs a fifth wave up, and then this up leg will complete, and we'll get a larger pullback. And most certainly that happened. Off of that high that completed in early 2021, this guy has tanked and just got absolutely smoked since there. Now, the overall pattern, very hard to understand or make sense of. What we have seen is we've seen counter trend down moves, trendy up moves. Counter trend down moves, trendy up moves. What's happening in 2021 doesn't look so hot. It does not look like counter trend downside action at this point. It's super sharp, and it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 wave move in progress. But let's go ahead and zoom in. So here it is. Here's that 5-wave move that we analyzed last time. We got that 5th wave up. When 5-wave moves complete, what happens? Price reverses and heads the other direction, and that very much happened here. Now, if we look at the internals of this decline in 2021, it's trendy. I mean, you get this nice little trendy 5-wave down move, little 3-wave recovery, another 5-wave or a 5-wave move in progress. It just doesn't look bullish right now. Now, if we could get above 65, we could look back at it and say, okay, there's a 3-wave move and it turned up from there. So then we have something to work with. What we're seeing now, that is not supported. If we look at this action off of August low, this doesn't look trendy. This looks like an ABC recovery ahead of lower levels. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that. Here's that move that I'm talking about. It looks like an ABC recovery. It looks like a setup for lower levels. It doesn't look like a bullish scenario at this time. Now, we could get a little bit higher prices here back towards that wave A high or maybe even a little bit higher. But the expectation really can't be for anything bigger than that at this time. A move below 49 at any point would say it is not it is in fact going to continue lower. But I think on any larger time frame, it just doesn't look bullish at this point. If it moves above 65, then we could start talking about something like maybe this being a buying opportunity. As is, looks like it wants to head lower within that 2021 pullback. So hope that's helpful, David. Thanks again for me being a member at TrendLizard.com. We do this stuff every day, as you know. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you again very soon. Take care.